can be written like this. Is that okay? Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to multiply that one out. Do you see the second one? We're just going to multiply that out. And what we're going to get is x squared, 2hx is in the end, isn't it? Plus h squared and k, yeah. Multiply all by ax squared plus 2hax plus, and guess how easy this gets. What can I say now? A is the same as 2. I can say that minus 7x is the same as 2ah. And finally, I can say that minus 10 is actually the same as ah squared plus. That's easy money, isn't it? Well, we're going to finish it off now, ready? So we're doing the yellow one first. What's the yellow one? A equals 2. Let's do the blue one now. Minus 7 equals 2a. And what's a again? So minus 7 is, and then after that, h is minus 7 over 4. Now we got to find out what k is now, don't we? So see the two pink parts? So we have a and h, so we know it's 2 times minus 7 over 4 plus k equals minus 10. Bring all that over the other side. Don't even indulge in multiplying it out. And then throw it all into the calculator, and it should kick you out your answer. So what do we get? Minus 10 minus 2 times minus 7 over 4 squared. Now I'm getting minus 129 over 8. Is that okay? Minus 129 over 8. What do we say chaos? Minus 129 over 8. Now, there's a problem with this. There's a problem with this type of question, right? It doesn't say hence or otherwise. It just says hence. Oh, sorry. I have to write down the full formula, do I? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have to write out the full formula. So the full formula will look something like this, will it? F of x equals, what is it? A. What's A? 2. X plus h, so x plus x minus 7 over 4 squared, yeah. And then what else? So minus 129 over 8. Now, see the word minimum point. That would usually mean differentiate once, put the slope equal to 0, and do what? Put the slope equal to 0 and... Yeah, but we're not allowed to do that this time. Why? It doesn't say hence or otherwise. It says hence, which means use the answer from the last question. Now get this. Would you all agree it's a U-shaped graph? How do you know it's a U-shaped graph? When you go back to the start, it's a 2x squared, isn't it? Which is a U-shaped graph. So it means it definitely has a minimum, right? Now, what can you guarantee about this value here? This value here is always positive. How do you know it's always positive? It's a perfect square, right? So the lowest value we can hope for is when that is 0. What x value causes that to be 0? What x value will cause that to be 0? 7 over 4 will cause that to be 0. So that's your x value. And then when your x value is 7 over 4, what happens to be your y value then? What's your y value? Minus 129 over 8. Am I safe in saying you don't think you've ever seen this before and you want a video on that? Okay. All right. Now, there's something called nature of roots, okay? So let me explain what nature of roots are. when you're talking about quadratic equation, do you know why most positive quadratic equations are U-shaped, aren't they? Would you all agree they're U-shaped? Right? Now here's the deal. When the graph crosses the axis twice, yeah? When the graph crosses the axis twice, do you know what that means? That means you'll get two answers for x. Is that okay? And this is because b squared minus 4ac is a positive number. When you do the minus b formula, you actually get two answers. Does that make sense? Now, what happens when I pull it upwards like this and it only touches once? That means b squared minus 4ac actually equals 0. And the minimum point is actually on the x-axis. Okay? And you only get one answer for x, or the same answer twice. And the other example is when you go upwards, and you notice it doesn't hit the axis at all. This means you'll get no answer for x, because when you do your minus b formula, it says maths error, and a maths error is caused when b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Do you guys know this? Not really. Okay. Now, so what we're basically saying is we're claiming that it intercepts the axis twice, aren't we? Why are we claiming that? Because two real roots. And do you notice that the minimum point is above the x-axis when it hits it? No times. And the minimum point is on the x-axis when it hits it once. And the minimum point is below the x-axis when it hits it twice. And is this point below the x-axis? And that's your answer. Because the y value is negative, this means the minimum point is below the x-axis, therefore it must hit it twice. There you go. You could also use b squared minus 4ac as bigger than 0. And if you go back to the top, was it 2x squared minus 7x minus 10? And a is 2, b is minus 7, and c is minus 10. And we're expecting this to be use b squared minus 4ac. So that's 49 plus what? 80, is it? And it's clearly 129 is clearly bigger than, and therefore we know it has two real roots. Or you could say that the minimum point is underneath the graph, therefore it must hit it twice. Or not. This is actually the minus b formula it's looking for. What was the original question again? Solve that equal to 0 because we're solving f of x equal to. Well, just do a equals 2, b equals minus 7, minus b equals, and c equals minus 7. Is that okay? And then what are we going to say? Minus b plus or minus the square root of. We all good there? I don't think it'll work. See the way it has it in surd form? What that means, that's an indication that it won't work normally. So that'd be 7 plus or minus. All over. Okay. What do we get then? 7 plus or minus. Actually, we just throw it into the calculator usually, don't we? What you get? 7 plus root 129 all over. And the opposite would be minus then, wouldn't it? Happy enough?